Welcome. And if you are training to become a clinical supervisor, you're probably realizing that supervising isn't just about being an experienced therapist. It's a completely different skill set. When a supervisee comes to you feeling stuck, your instinct might be to jump in and fix the problem for them. But great supervision isn't about giving the answers. It's about expanding their perspective. Today, we're looking at a foundational framework, the Seven-Eyed Model of Supervision by Hawkins and Shohet. But we are going to approach it through a solution-focused lens. Now, as a new supervisor, you can use these 7 distinct vantage points, or sometimes called modes or eyes, to help your supervisees uncover any hidden resources, generate new, fresh options, and build clinical confidence.
I1. The client's present reality.
So let's kick off with the first mode, or I1. When supervisees are overwhelmed, they often present their client as a list of symptoms, a diagnosis, or a problem to be solved. Your job is to help them see the client as a whole human being again. You can do this with a simple visualization exercise. Ask the supervisee to close their eyes and vividly recall the very beginning of their last session. What did they see, smell, or notice? Alternatively, invite them to temporarily step into the client's shoes, walk across the room, and sit down as the client. By guiding your supervisee to see the client fresh, you break them out of clinical tunnel vision and open up new pathways for empathy and connection.
I2. Unlocking the supervisee's options.
This I or mode focuses on the interventions the supervisee actually made. They will usually bring this up when they feel they've failed or made a mistake. In a solution-focused framework, your role is to reframe failure as feedback. Instead of analyzing what went wrong, challenge them to brainstorm. Say, let's come up with 7 to 10 completely different interventions you could try next, including a few wild ones. This bypasses their self-doubt and taps into what they unconsciously already know. Then, have them role-play the best option right there with you. Let them practice the delivery and experience what it feels like to receive it. You're turning a moment of anxiety into a safe testing ground.
I3. The therapeutic relationship.
Mode 3 looks at the specific dynamic between the therapist and the client. When a supervisee is struggling to articulate this relationship, you can use a simple metaphor to cut through the noise. Ask them, if you and your client were 2 animals, what would you be? Are they a roaring lion and a hiding mouse, or 2 deer frozen in headlights? Metaphors bypass the human intellectual defense mechanisms. This helps bypass potential transference and projections, allowing you to help the supervisee intentionally adjust their stance to better support the client's progress.
I4. The supervisee's inner process.
That leads us right to mode 4, the supervisee's own internal processes and counter-transference. As a supervisor, you want to teach your supervisees that having strong feelings about a client isn't a mistake or wrong, it's therapeutic data. If those feelings remain unconscious, they block the work. But if you provide a safe, non-judgmental space for your supervisee to bring those feelings into awareness, they become a map. Help them see that their internal reactions are a radar system, often mirroring exactly what the client is struggling with in the outside world.
I5. The parallel process, the mirror.
Now, mode 5 is where you have to monitor the immediate room. This is the parallel process, the concept that the relationship between you and your supervisee can mirror the relationship between the supervisee and their client. Pay close attention. If you notice your usually collaborative supervisee suddenly becoming highly defensive, or if you find yourself becoming uncharacteristically critical or directive, pause. Ask aloud, I'm noticing something different happening between us right now. I wonder if this same dynamic is playing out between you and your client. By addressing and shifting the dynamic in supervision, you model the exact breakthrough they need to take back to their therapy room.
I6. Your radar as a supervisor.
In mode 6, you turn the lens on yourself. While you are listening to your supervisee present a case, map your own internal landscape. Notice your bodily sensations, sudden emotions, or stray thoughts. Because the unconscious is hidden, your own reactions are a vital tool. If you feel a sudden, overwhelming wave of exhaustion or anxiety that doesn't belong to you, offer it tentatively. You might say, as I listen to you talk about this case, I'm feeling a heavy sense of panic in my chest. Does that resonate at all with what it feels like to sit with this client? It is a powerful, collaborative way to pinpoint the core of the issue.
I7, the wider system.
Finally, Mode 7 zooms all the way out to the wider system. As a supervisor, you must remind your supervisees that neither they nor their clients operate in a vacuum. Help them look at the wider field: culture, gender, socioeconomics, family structures, and professional codes. When you guide a supervisee to look at these systemic pressures, you help them understand the invisible gravity pulling on the client. It prevents them from taking the client's lack of progress personally and allows them to identify external resources and strengths to build upon.
I7A, the supervisor simulation.
Now we also do have a secret mode, or I, in the model, what I like to call I7A. In this mode, the supervisor looks right over the supervisee's shoulder and temporarily moves them out of the equation, and imagines themselves now sitting directly across from the client. They are running an internal simulation asking, "What would I do in this exact scenario?" This mode is an incredible diagnostic tool. It allows the supervisor to compare their own hypothetical clinical instincts against the choices of the supervisor in I2. It helps them spot blind spots, alternative breakthroughs, or creative techniques that the supervisee might be too close to the client to see. Stepping into the role of a supervisor means learning to look through all 7 of these eyes fluently. By mastering this model, you ensure that your supervision sessions aren't just an interrogation of what went wrong. Instead, you create a solution-focused, systemic space that empowers your supervisees to grow, innovate, and find their own paths forward. If you are considering training to be a clinical hypnotherapy supervisor, then here at HHC, we host the Level 5 NCFE Clinical Hypnotherapy Supervisors course. Accredited by the National Council of Hypnotherapy, this is the highest level of hypnotherapy qualification available in the UK. You can find more details on our website, www.hypnotherapy-supervision-cpd.uk. And if you are starting your supervision practice, which of these 7 eyes feels the most natural to you? And which one will take the most practice? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your fellow supervisees. On behalf of HHC, good luck in your supervision career, and I will see you next time.